Honda ST 1100. I have a lot of cleaned under there and grease taken off. I had taken the bike outside and then turned it around, but while I had it outside I used the engine gunk cleaner, got a lot of that off. What I want to show now is outside what I'm going to be doing. This is one of my side panels, and what I'm going to do is, it doesn't look too bad, the finish on it, but compared to one that I've already done, if you can see the difference, it even makes it look like a different color almost. This one is completely detailed, clay board, the whole 9 yards, it's done. This one I'm just getting ready to start on. I thought I'd show how I do it, but it really makes the paint pop. It's just so much difference in the two. Now I got a few little scratches down there I'm not worried about because I want to get the bike on the road. I could take them out later, but I just want it looking really great. And the difference between the two is so just unreal. This one here come out so beautiful. There was a tab broke off this too down here at the bottom, and I used my plastic welder to put it back on. But that's the old one there, and then the new one. You can see it really looks great. First off, I'm going to rinse this piece off. I have it on a rag so when I turn it over, but I want to just rinse as much dust and dirt off as I can. The underside is going to be bad, and down in here this panel has so many little trenches on it that has to be cleaned out, and I want to detail it so much, get every bit of dirt off I can. So I'm going to use a soft pad like you use on a car to get started with. Now with this, with all these grooves in here, I use a toothbrush, a soft toothbrush, and I can get down in here and start scrubbing them channels out. Because the more dirt you get out of it, the better it is. There's a piece that goes on there, and a lot of this isn't shown, but you want to get the dirt off of it. When you wash it, then sometimes the dirt isn't streaking down over it, it's already gone. So far that don't look too bad for this side. It cleaned up good. The other side I did on the right, it's like maybe the engine has a little leak someplace, and there was a lot of grease underneath the panel on it. I had a long time getting it all off. I got the engine clean, so now I can see what is under there. And for this part, I've got a sponge. It's got like real soft this side, and this side's a little rough. What I'm going to use on the inside, because it's rough and not finished anyway, is a little bit of this Comet with bleach, soft cleaner it's called. Love that stuff. Anytime I see it, I buy it and buy it. I got so many cans of it. Now that it's dried, I can see in here some dirt that's still left. It's so hard to get, even with a toothbrush it wouldn't come out. So I have a little plastic cup, and I have this awesome from Dollar General, you can get it, And this stuff is great. And I'm going to spray some in here. Then I'm going to take a Q-tip, put in it, and start and go in all these grooves. That is taking the dirt out. That's why when I got something done, man, it looks terrific. It's just, you know, time consuming. I don't mind doing it. When I bought the Suzuki Boulevard, I did this. I went all over it, detailed it, and it looked like a brand new bike. Everybody thought I had bought a brand new bike. When I told them it was used, they're like, no way. And I said, yeah. I said, it's just, I spent the time detailing it. Now, like I said, there's a few scratches here and there, but I'm not bothering with them now. I'm just gonna get this to where I can really start getting it shined up and get it. And down in here, you can see in this groove here, right here, all that dirt, dust. Just, you know, I'll do it on this side, turn it over, and do it all on the other side, and get all this extra crud off I can. When you buy your clay bar system, you can get it at Walmart. You get this quick detailer, mist and wipe, and that's what you want to do. Just mist this and wipe it off. That'll be our next step. Now, this is kind of a small bottle, but you can buy it by itself into a big bottle, same stuff. So what I'm going to do is now, before I clay bar it, I'm going to just mist this and wipe it down. And what that's doing is taking any impurities off. I got a microfiber cloth towel, wiping it. I want to wipe it all real good, but I've got all the channels and everything like that clean. And you can see now it's starting to get cleaner as we go. It's really starting to bring some of the more of the shine out. Now the clay bar. The clay bar comes in a little container, and you get 2 big pieces of it. 2 like that. This one's still wrapped up. Bought it long time ago, and it's made by McGuire's. So I keep it closed up in there. And what I've been using is I put it in a little Ziploc bag to keep it from going dry. And this stuff, it's a putty. It reminds you of that silly putty. So I'm going to work it. And as they say, if you drop this on the floor, the ground or anything, throw it away, because it'll get little things in there, and when you put it over your paint, it's going to scratch it. So I'm working it to get it soft. And what I want is a flat piece about like that. Now I'm going to take my quick detailer again, and I'm going to mist it some here, and right where it's wet I'm going to start going over it with this. And if it gets too dry, it'll start being like sticky like that, like it don't want to go, and you can just mist it some more. But what this is doing is this is actually pulling any impurities out of the paint. This is amazing. And you want to work at a small area, and you don't want to let this dry. You want to, you know, like I'm doing this section here. Pretty soon I'll wipe it down and go to another section, and the same thing. Just a small area. Now there I can tell it's getting dry on the edges here. So I picked up a little bit of that moisture from that spray detailer, because I want to get a long air. Then I'll take my cloth, wipe that down again. Now this section here will be done with the clay bar. So I'll take another section, 1, 2, 3, probably 4 more sections to do that. I just finished this whole panel with clay bar. So now the next step is this quick detailer mist and wipe from Guire's. Now that I have that clay barred, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go back over it like when I started on it and just mist it and wipe it off. That'll be kind of like taking off the last of the impurities. But when you clay bar it, you do a section and wipe it off, you can really tell the difference. That, you know, that it just, wow, it starts to look better and better. But it still not has that shine yet. So there's a few more steps here. Now as you go through these steps, I have the quick detailer. I keep the rag that I used it with it. Then my next step, I have rags that I use for this. Now we're going to move on to the next step. This is Ultimate Polish by Meguiar's, but if you look right under here, it says pre-wax glaze. Pre-wax glaze. And I do this extra step. I want to shake this up good, but I do this extra step because it seems to help. I don't know if I've seen anybody do this, but I do it. So I have this all cleaned. I'm gonna get a little bit of water here. I'm putting a rag in and wring it out for this. Now this is pre-wax glaze, so you don't want to put it on and let it dry. You want to put it on and wipe it off. Boy, that stuff squirted out. Ugh. And then none of this you would do in the sun, of course. You know, go in the shade. Okay, so I'm going to do a section just like I did with the clay barn. You don't go too far. I'm going to do a section at a time. And what I'm doing is when I get to this stage of it, and when I wax, anytime I wash my bikes or cars or anything, this side panel, the airflow goes this way. So that's the way I use my polish and my wax. This is a polish here. Because if you swirl, that's how you get them little, they call them spider webs in there. And that'll eliminate that. You don't want those in there. And what this is doing is it's getting it ready for the wax. And it does make a difference. I don't know how I come up with that. I think just in there looking at the stuff, and it was, I think I got it at Walmart too. But the auto parts would have it. And I seen it said pre-waxing glaze. And I thought, well, you put it on before you wax it. Well, this stuff's hard to get out of the bottle. And it's a pretty full bottle. But all this stuff you buy, at first, you know, you're paying a good bit, but it lasts so long. And a clay bar lasts a long time. And then you get a extra big bottle of the spray, and it lasts a long time. And I mean, you know, and this is some work, but this is a thing you do like, you're gonna have 2 or 3 days of rain, you do your bike, I'll tell you what, you'll be glad you did, because it just makes it look so nice. Yeah, the paint just looks great. Next to the last step is waxing. I have the Meguiar's Gold Class Carnauba Plus Premium Paste Wax, car wax. And a word about it is they have this where they have this pad inside this lid. I don't leave it in there. I don't like that. I've had them where I've used them. I, you know, rinsed them out good, put them in there, they get mold. So I don't use it. I like to use a piece of cloth like this, one of those microfibers. And so I went over it, and it's glazing up now. It's drying a little bit with that. I rubbed it all over. It's almost the last step, believe it or not. Now, when you take this off, you can really see that shine. And the difference, the color of it looks different. It looks darker, richer. It's amazing how it looks. Isn't your bike worth it? I tell you what, this paint, and then when you get it in the sun, there's a little bit of sun there, man, it just pops. Looks beautiful, looks great, but what could I possibly do to improve on that? one more coat of wax. Wax it right over again, and then I'll show you about it once I get the wax on and get ready to take it off. That last step where I took the wax off with a microfiber towel, you could have did it this way, but definitely on the last coat. So this is a second coat of wax. You get one of these towels, and they're for finishing up with. And you'll see the one side's nice and soft for buffing. This side is made for taking the wax off. What it does is when you use that side to get this wax off, it really pulls all the wax off. So you don't have any white marks or anything like that. It really removes it. Now you can see the shine. You know, when I'm just about done here. Now that's all wiped off. Really good. So now I use this side to buff it up. I have used an electric buffer, but I just do it by hand. You know, you have to be careful with electric when you don't hit it, you know, hard and too long in one spot. You could burn the paint. So it's just easier to do it by hand. Now that looks beautiful. And there's a lot of panels on this bike to do and see. Yeah, there we go. And you can see if the sun's in it, boy, it shows the sparkling metallic. But there we go. Those two panels look fantastic. So I hope this helped you and everything. And if you see an ad in the front of my videos, I apologize for it. It ain't me, it's YouTube. I don't make any money. That's why when I have a video and I put that free music on it, that's how I can do it, because I don't make a cent for doing any of this. If I took money, I can't use that music. You have to pay them. So, hope that helps you. I mean, maybe entertaining. And have a good day.